Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Frog and Toad story. I hope you enjoyed our The Places You'll Go by Mrs. Robertson yesterday. Today we're going to do comprehension. We're not going to look for the message today, although you should always look for the message in everything you read. So we'll continue to practice that. Our 4 questions, and you have this worksheet. You can write it on here or just write it in your journals. Number 1, why was Frog alone in the woods? Number 2, how did Frog save himself from the old dark frog? Number 3, how did Frog and Toad feel after... And they made a mistake here, so this is why I kind of like making my own sheet sometimes. I didn't make this one. It says Toad finished telling the story. It's really Frog, so if you want, you could cross that off, but don't worry about that. So how did Frog and Toad feel after Frog finished telling the story? And number 4, do you think Frog made up the story and why? Make sure you answer the why part. Not just yes or no, you have to tell me why. So those are our 4 questions that you're thinking about as I read, as you listen to me read. And I got my Toad voice ready. Hold on, Toad. Is that good, Dad?
Yeah, that's real good.
Oh, all right, Dad behind the camera. Thanks, Dad. This chapter is called Shivers. The night was cold and dark. Listen to the wind howling in the trees, said Frog. What a fine time for a ghost story. Toad moved deeper into his chair. Toad, asked Frog, don't you like to be scared? Don't you like to feel the shivers? I'm not sure, said Toad. Frog made a fresh pot of tea. He sat down and began his story. So they're going to tell a scary ghost story. Sometimes people like to be scared. When I was your age, I didn't really like scary stories. I didn't like scary movies. Now I don't mind them. All right, I'll move a little closer. When I was small, said Frog, my mother and father and I went out for a picnic. On the way home, we lost our way. My mother was worried. We must get home, she said. We do not want to meet the old dark frog. Who is that? I asked. A terrible ghost, said my father. He comes out at night and eats little frog children for supper. Toad sipped his tea. Frog, he asked, are you making this up? Maybe yes and maybe no, said Frog. So Frog is thinking back. He's telling a story.
Oops.
You good? My mother and father went to search for a path, said Frog. They told me to wait until they came back. I sat under a tree and waited. The woods became dark. I was afraid. Then I saw 2 huge eyes. It was the old dark frog. He was standing near me. Uh-oh, the old dark frog.
Oh boy, looks scary.
I'm a little scared of an oversized frog. That's terrifying. Frog, asked Toad, did this really happen? Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, said Frog. Frog went on with the story. The dark frog pulled a jump rope out of his pocket. I am not hungry now, said the dark frog. I have eaten too many tasty frog children. But after I jump rope 100 times, I will be hungry again, and then I will eat you. I don't know, that seems crazy. He said, you just wait there, I'm gonna jump some rope until I'm hungry. The dark frog tied one end of the rope to a tree. Turn for me, he shouted. I turned the rope for the dark frog. He jumped 20 times. I am beginning to get hungry, said the dark frog. He jumped 50 times. I am getting hungrier, said the dark frog. He jumped 99 times. I am very hungry now, said the dark frog. So the dark frog is doing what, Dad? Jumping rope.
That's right.
I haven't jumped rope in a long time. What happened then? Asked Toad. I had to save my life, said Frog. I ran around and around the tree with the rope. I tied up the old dark frog. He roared and screamed. I ran away fast. I found my mother and father, said Frog. We came home safely. Frog, asked Toad, was that a true story? Maybe it was and maybe it wasn't, said Frog. Frog and Toad sat close by the fire. They were scared. The teacups shook in their hands. They were having the shivers. It was a good, warm feeling. So it seems like they actually liked to be scared. So now, do you think Frog made that story up, Dad?
I think so.
Why is that?
I think he wants Toad to feel sorry for him.
Or you wanted to scare Toad?
Yeah.
And one piece of evidence I would find is an oversized frog who was gonna eat someone who then said, "Oh, I have to jump rope 100 times." That doesn't seem real, does it? I mean, wouldn't he just eat him? What's this 100-time jumping rope? I think it's a good story, but I think Frog made it up. But you can tell me what you think. Remember to tell me why. And I will talk to you soon and read another chapter from Frog and Toad.